joining me from around the world, we want to sincerely welcome you to this episode of BHF Foundation talk show, Time Out with Hello David. For those who are not aware, BHF Foundation is a youth organization with the sole aim of bringing up uh, the youth population and lead them in the right direction. We have learned from some of the mistakes that we've made in the past, and now we are trying as much as possible to see how we can lead the next generation so that they don't fall victim and they become also casualty of some of the errors that we've made. I've always been saying in this program that we didn't have this kind of opportunity. There are lots of my friends today now who are late, who are dead, who belong to the same cult together, we're doing the same things together, carrying out actions that were not healthy actions together. I believe if they had heard the correct advice from the beginning, they will not have fallen victim or become casualty to most of the mistakes that they experienced, they went through. And so we try as much as possible to tell people, the young ones, especially the young ones, the youth population, that please they have to learn from the errors of the past. God set up BHF Foundation to be a stopgap, to be able to give youthful counsel on the consequences of what they do. We'll talk about alcohol, we'll talk about drugs and the rest. Because we are looking at one of Pastor Elo Davis' book, Contending with the Dragons. Contending with the Dragons. And in this book, we have gone through the dragon of drug abuse. We've gone through the dragon of Yahoo Yahoo. We just finished the dragon of cultism. And we're in the last chapter of the book now, the dragon of sexual immorality. There are many of us who were involved in massive drug and massive alcohol in the past. There are a lot of lives and destinies that were destroyed. I know people that are highly intelligent, but unfortunately, there was no reasonable counsel. They were not counseled. They didn't get information, and so they became alcoholic. They became drug addicts, and sadly enough, they couldn't recover from the consequences of those drug abuse, the consequences of those alcohol. So when we try as much as possible to tell people don't get involved in drugs, don't get involved in alcohol, we are saying it because not because of what we are told, we are saying it because of what we know, because we've been in it before. It's something that we've done. We're taking massive alcohol. I used to be an alcoholic myself. Took a lot of alcohol. We were young then, very, very young, and we saw it as a way of having fun. We were young, and so we didn't see anything wrong in it. We can finish cartons and cartons of Gouda, cartons of small stout, large quantity of them. Some of us, our friends, were involved in drugs. We were taking drugs, smack, cocaine, continuous usage of alcohol, and all kinds of Indian hemp. We were doing it regularly. So let me say, we're doing it. But most of us did not know that these things have consequence in the body. We didn't know. We were young. We were in our 20s. Of us were 19. I was on the tall side. So most of my friends then, because of my height and the rest, I was not up to 20. But because of my height and the rest, most of the friends I have then were those that were elderly to me. Friends that were 10 years ahead of me, 10 years senior to me. And so most of them would think that we are age mates, They don't know that I was far their junior. So we are on it. We are a massive drinking. And remember, we wake up in the morning, 6 a.m. We'll begin to take alcohol from 6 a.m. And we'll take alcohol probably till around 2. Then after 2 o'clock, we'll go on break. We'll go on break after 2 o'clock. And resume again around 6 o'clock. And we'll drink till 1 a.m. in the morning. It was a continuous habit we were doing. We moved to Lagos, we're doing the same thing. Around 7 o'clock, we'll go to the Bar Beach, pass through the Third Mainland Bridge, head up to Bar Beach. Around 12 o'clock, around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. in the evening. We'll drink in the Bar Beach, drink till around 2:33. And we'll drive all the way from Bar Beach, pass through the Third Mainland Bridge, and get down to Pangrove, Unipa, where we were residing there. Consequences of alcohol. Most of us we drink from morning to night. There's few of us that were lucky that we opted out after a while. We opted out not because we wanted to opt out. Wanted to opt out. We opted out because we found Christ and we stopped alcohol. But some of them who unfortunately did not find Christ and the rest, they continue taking it, and it has consequences in their body. There are many of them that are dead today now from the consequences of alcohol. Those who were on brandy and the rest, they have liver issues. Those who are taking stout and taking beer and the rest, they have diabetic issue. These companies will not tell you the consequences. No, they won't tell you. They won't tell you that you are destroying your body when you are on regular intake of alcohol. They won't tell you the consequences. They just want you to continue taking it. So this thing has consequences. You see, the pleasure of sin is for a moment, but the end result of it is devastating. That's why I want to warn this generation to be very careful. When your mother, your parents are telling you don't take alcohol, don't take it, you will think that they are disturbing you, but they are saving you, they are helping you. They are helping you. And so today we want to look at the last chapter in this book, book, Contending with the Dragons. The last chapter of the book is the dragon of sexual immorality. Remember, I said this book, this channel, we try to advise the youth to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. And one of the things they need to be careful about is sexual immorality. I know a lot of lives that have been destroyed, my friends and the rest, that have been messed up because of their involvement in sexual immorality. When we were young, very, very young, I was a professor in that department. I was living a highly sexual life. I remember one day I went to the school that I graduated from. I went to check one of my friends, I went to check him. So while I was with my friend, then I saw his neighbor, fair lady, fair girl, young, beautiful girl. I chased her that very day, and I ended up sleeping in her house. And I remember when it was around 2 o'clock, she woke me in the night around 2 o'clock in the morning in her room. And she asked me, am I not beautiful? I said, yes, you are extremely beautiful. You waking me in the night and asking me if you are beautiful. While we were talking, she said, I'm a fish from the water. I said, you are what? She said, I'm a fish from the water. And most of us in the school are from the marine world. We are fish from the water. So when we have sex with you, if you are very lucky, as it belongs to a group in the water, a different group entirely, it's like a court within the water. That's what she said. She's a special court. But if you are extremely lucky, nothing you do that you ever succeed. But if you are unlucky, it's responsible for sudden death. So when you see quite a number of young men, young boys who are laboring in their adult life, and it seems as if nothing is happening, they are laboring, they are not getting results. It's not, most times it's not a family issue. Because what is ready now is your foundation, is your father's house. No, no, no. Most times it's the consequences of what we've done with our hands. It's a consequence. You said it that nothing the person does that the person will ever succeed once they have sex with a person. So how do you know if it's that kind of girl that you are sleeping with now? You're a student. Many years ago, I remember when I was a young person, when I was a pastor in Winners, for example, I remember having, uh, I just finished discussing one day, and a young lady came to see me, and she said she wanted to see me, and I told her, "Look, I'm so tired now. I can't see you now, but let's see the next day or so." And she came. And when we were discussing, she said she again, she repeated the statement to me, what was told me 1993, what they told me 1992. This girl was saying the same thing in 2010 or so, if I'm not mistaken. And this time around, she came, she said she's from the water, and the boy she's going out with, she said any boy she sleeps with, the boy's life will be destroyed. And currently, she's sleeping with it, going out with a drummer. So he plays music in their place. And the reason why she came to see me is because she saw the young man in the dream where he had a fatal accident and died. And definitely that's what is going to happen, because anybody she sleeps with and the person has an accident and die in the dream, physically, the person will also die. You know, and I looked at her. I don't even know what to say to her, because you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. The person must be around to willingly say, "I denounce it." So what am I trying to say? These things have consequences. I'm telling you from experience that we have. It has consequences. And so we are trying to advise the young people not to get themselves involved. We are looking at the dragon of sexual immorality. There are many lives that have been destroyed today due to sexual immorality. Many lives. Many lives. Many destiny have been destroyed. There are many lives that are undergoing battles today, and the battles they are fighting are battles that came because of sexual immorality. And so please don't destroy your tomorrow by the things that you engage with today. I'm speaking specifically to the young ones. There are some people that might say, leave me, it doesn't matter. Wait until it will matter. You may have the opportunity now, don't abuse it, because the time will come you might not have the opportunity again. The only way to go out of it is to see that you are also spiritually involved with them. And of course, you begin to do the things they do and end up paying the price for it. So we are looking at the dragons of sexual immorality. That's the experience I had with the girl. A lot of experience I had with the girl. It was also a girl that came to see us in the youth center. It's a young girl, she's just 19 years old. A 19 years old that came to see us in the youth center. And when we were discussing, that's when she said she wants help. I said, help from what? She said she's sleeping with her pastor. And the reason why she came to see me is not because she's sleeping with her pastor. It's because immediately she began sleeping with the pastor, she begins to see the pastor every night in the dream, having sex with her. And anytime she wakes up, you will see bleeding. She herself bleeding. Anytime she wakes up, she will be bleeding after the man have had sex with her. There are many questions. So I'm saying this right now because it's a norm within our youth. The girls and the rest, they seem not to care. They think that they are having fun, but there are consequences. Please, I beg you, you must retrace your step. You must retrace your step. Because these things have effects, these things have consequences. A lot of lives have been destroyed. I will try as much as possible to advise you, to discuss with you, so that you don't get yourself involved in it. Because if there are some people right now, if they have listened to us, if they have heard us, uh, if they've listened and they had this opportunity 20, 30 years ago, they will not have found themselves in the same mistakes and the error which they are in now. No, they will not have found themselves. Probably they heard it, they didn't bother. They say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it matters. It matters. And so that's why we want to advise in this last chapter of the book, the dragon called immorality, that please, many lives have been destroyed. Many lives. At the moment, I try as much as possible to also try to advise our young girls because I know there are many of them today who don't seem not to listen, but they are playing with their lives. They are playing with their lives. There are people who embark on this journey and today they are regretting it. They are regretting it. Because some of all these guys who are doing Yahoo and the rest, they use girls to do it. The only thing they need from the lady is to get her pubic hair or her sperm. And they will take it to the native doctor and they will use it to do charm, money charm. Used to do voodoo for those who are not in Africa or in Nigeria. They call them voodoo in the Western world. And they use it to a charm to make money. And there are quite a number of lives that have been destroyed without remedy. I told this story that time that a friend of mine was discussing one time one of his close friends, and he told him he's into Yahoo self. And he told him that he took his girlfriend to spiritually, he wanted to use her sperm, her hair for money making ritual. And when he got to the native doctor, the doctor said, "No, we cannot use this girl because this girl is used." He ended up taking about 5 different girls there, and the native doctor told him that these girls have been used. These girls have been used. A lot of girls have been used. So when you as a young girl sit in that car, you're going to eat shawarma, you're going to eat ice cream, you're going to do this. You won't know that you are the source of the money. It is you they are using to make the money. And it's going to take just a matter of time. There are some of them that if they don't die at the end of the day, the native doctor says if they don't die at the end of the day, they will not be able to give birth again. Of course, the young man feels he's not going to marry the lady, so if she doesn't give birth, it's none of his business. That's why I try to advise people that please, these things have consequences. This pleasure is for a moment, but at the end of the day, it will end up in disaster, end up in regret, end up in shame, end up in pain. So you just stay out of sexual immorality. Focus on it until you get married. We are living in dangerous times where people are doing everything possible to make money. They are doing all kinds of things now to make money, diabolically, to get money, especially in Africa. Because of the poor government, poor governance, they are resorting to charm, rituals, and all kinds of things to get money. And so be very careful. You as a boy, you as a girl, be very careful of the kind of date you are going out with, the kind of guy you are going out with, the kind of girl you are going out with. Because he might just be using your sperm or your pubic hair to give to a voodoo specialist to do voodoo for him so that he can make money. Why do you want to become a casualty? Why don't you wait until you're old enough to get married? You can have sex as much as you can. At times I ask myself, some of these things we are dying to achieve, to get when I was younger, in my teens life, when I was 20, 21, 23, doing all these things we are trying to get sexually. Now I'm married. You discover that you are even you most times you don't want to. You're sleeping with a woman, you don't even have time to have sex with her. You do everything to she's even the one that will want to ask you because you are so occupied with many things. And I told myself, I said, is this the same thing that we want to lose our lives for when we are 19, 20? This is the same thing we are doing now. You seem to be getting tired of it. There are consequences. There are consequences. Please, I want you to tune on to give us a hi. I want you to comment. And I also want you to subscribe to BHF on YouTube share, like, subscribe to a lot of youths, because we'll be discussing issues that has to do with the youths and advise them not to get themselves involved in what will destroy their lives, what will cut short their glory, cut short their destiny, what will make them a prayer point in future, a casualty in future, is the things we are trying to avoid today. Sexual immorality is dangerous. It has destroyed many lives. And I don't want you to be part of those lives that have been destroyed due to sexual immorality. I'm going to have a good time. We meet again tomorrow and we'll go have another discussion review, another of Elo Davis' book. This is the last chapter of this book, Contending with the Dragons. By tomorrow, we'll go through another book again, very interesting book, Guilty as Charged. That's the title of the books we are going tomorrow, Guilty as Charged. It's a book that talks about the life of Elo David, the life of Elo David, Guilty as Charged. That's the title of the book we want to review tomorrow. I want you to hook up to us tomorrow, get people involved. It might just be saving a soul. Thank you very much.